Greetings. Sorry about that. Greetings, I am Pillar Nexus, the Ancient Gladiator today with EVE Online. And I'm coming back to the game last night after I was done messing around with Minecraft. Yeah, I'm sorry about the stream for Minecraft just going under. The internet has been very spotty. Uh, Yesterday, and I don't know what happened, but I'd have issues with it just coming and going, listening to other stuff. And it also happened at like the weirdest time for where I was in Minecraft. Because I had found some stuff digging deep enough. Anyway, active online for a little bit. Let's go do some daily stuff. Scanning, kick some pirate ass, mining, manufacture. Let's start out with scanning today. Let's see if anything sold from yesterday. Yeah, all my shuttles sold. Does does anyone know what the hell is going on with the Minotaur shuttle prices? Because I don't remember them being up this freaking high last time I was here. It's like, upwards of 20,000 plus already. There's somebody who wants 200, but oh hell no. It's like, I was gonna say, is it a reaction to this? No, because it's probably happening later. So it's probably like, hey, if you want to take those overpriced shuttles and bring them to a big money place, that would be a very lucrative option for you. Yeah, I've been kind of away from this game for a little bit of time that it's like, what have I missed? Anyway, check on the jobs industry. Blur. Oh, that's right. I'm over in Illinois. Oops. Decided to drop off my one thing. Okay. Well, let's just go do my scanning stuff right now. So, what else was I going to talk about lately? I think I was in the middle of talking about the just the fact that a lot of fantasy like licenses just happen to disappear and how much that sucks. I know. I was wanting to talk about Gears of War, the board game. Now that might be one I go looking for again. Although I can only hope that one pops up again in the next auction. Alright. That one's got some good miniatures, and I like the way it handles line of sight. Because in a given space, um, possibly on the line in between spaces, will be cover, And there's like little circles next to the cover that you'll put your figures in if they end their move there. If you move in a space that has an open spot for cover, uh, you can place your miniature there, and then you'll have the cover bonus, which is not perfect defense, but it gives you more dice to work with, which is better than trying to pull it off on one die. The way that game works, you'll have weapons that have either just um, a no ammo option, provided you still have a little bit of ammo anyway. You also have a full burst option, or something to that effect, that lets you spend an ammo and use more dice at better odds of damage. Your opponent's defense is a base of whatever they have, which for the COG players is one. Plus one more if they're on cover. If they're in cover, but they're on the wrong side of it, but their opponent can still see them. It's one extra die. If they're behind cover, there's, cover between them and their attacker, you'll get two extra dice. So a 3 dice defense is anywhere from 0 to 6 protection from an attack. Cover does not help you against melee, though. Yeah, that game was one of my favorite solo experiences for a while. So I'm hoping I can find it again and feature it here as well. I still haven't played Gears of War, the actual video game stuff, though. Seems to be a big thing for it. It's like, I don't know if I'll get around to playing the video game, but the board game sure looks interesting. Like with Horizon Zero Dawn and Dark Souls. That might be another one to look for again. Although the last time I had Dark Souls, I just wasn't too terribly impressed with it. It's definitely a good game for killing time. It's just, uh, it just kind of feels like a grindstone at times. It's also a Steam Forged Kickstarter thing of base game, absolute shitload of expansions. Gale Force 9 has this similar thing, but I don't think they do Kickstarter, I think. I don't know. They do have a lot of stuff of like TV shows and maybe movies. Just keep thinking back on the Firefly board game and all the freaking cards and randomness. It's a fun game, but man, it's just a whole lot of random. Which is why another one I'm hoping to find in the auction is Star Wars Outer Rim. Because I like the way that game worked out. Oops, way off. And it somehow worked out. Alright, cool. I have this whole mental list of games I hope to find in the auction. Because I think it would be interesting to feature them. But also, I kind of miss the experience that they were. Yeah, after I'm done with the stream today, I'm going to be looking over the games that I brought home, making sure they're complete, making sure everything's organized. I have a good reputation for when I sell games. My stuff is organized, cards are sleeved. It's it is a playable game, unless I say otherwise. Black Box might be one of the few. It's missing things, but it's still playable elements. The copy of Catan that I have, I actually painted the replacement parts that I made for it. There was a bit of a kerfuffle last year, I think, when someone was selling uh, expansions to a game. Each expansion was supposed to be its own box. It turns out the expansions were split between the boxes, so they had to kind of coordinate a way to get those all together and all that. But yeah, if you're coming to Chaos to sell anything at the auction, just make sure stuff is, in good condition and sorted out and all that. Having tokens and cards just disorganized, flying around the box wherever, it's not good. All right, let me get closer to this. Question is, when I actually do get my payout for the auction and start running it, is what the hell do I actually want? So, with all these little boxes of Inner Sphere Lance packs I've been picking up, they've been cards for Alpha Strike. It is a kind of a speedier approach to Battletech, which might also be a good jumping off point for someone who's curious about Battletech and to play something a little more loose. But if I get enough from the auction, I want to pick up the starter for Alpha Strike. That might be the one time where I actually keep the mechs separated from my regular collection, just just in case. I also want to find a use for all the freaking Mech Warrior cards that come with Lance packs too. I'm thinking with the Mech Warrior Destiny RPG, those might be an inspiration for NPC or other character ideas for a scenario. Just something. They have like certain abilities and all that. I have to wonder if they're intended with the Alpha Strike as well. But yeah, it's these little like warrior cards. We've um, got the name of the character, their rank, affiliation, unit, or battle mech, a paragraph or so of information about them, the special pilot abilities. At a little bit of cost. Looking at the cost though, I think I want to say they're meant for Alpha Strike because if it was meant for BattleTech, it wouldn't be in the single digits. Yeah. Else. And there. We got the last scanning pickup, and then get the rewards, and then get my industrial crap. Get that squared away, and go fight some pirates. But yeah, right now I've got everything kind of stacked in front of my closet of costumes. Um, Move everything out of the way, and later on today, work on some more. Work on the pillar costume shorts. Really, really happy to see people checking things out. It's always nice to know that those shorts are getting the views and all that. People are liking them too. Our work is like, yeah, dress in costume, but keep your family friendly, controversial. So I'm already feeling like, okay, I can't cross dress. Even though I do have a good number of costumes that are like ankle length dresses, but I think just for my own safety, I'm just gonna do without. Because then I have to go home in costume. I don't have a ride. Also, for the considerable majority of my costumes, I have no pockets. There's a couple of dresses I've gotten from a Hot Topic, from like Sweet Society label, that actually do have the pockets built into them, which is nice. Really more dresses should do that. That's just me. But yeah, a lot of them are just no pockets, and most of them are probably not something I would wear to where I'm working because there's a very clear slant of religion and politics among most of my coworkers that I probably don't want to be cross-dressing. Even if I've got something that's pretty modest. In the form of either the Forest Enchantress or my Snow White outfit. It covers that pretty well. Yeah, I have to withhold my. I have to do my best to withhold some of my anger at
Skill training complete.
the way things, the opinions that I have to listen to on a daily basis from them. I'm glad work is stable, that I still have the hours. Sometimes I just want to find
Warp drive active.
a better environment in terms of people I work with. I mean, they're pretty good about, being fairly considerate and all that, but at the same time, there's just certain views. Well, that just had me concerned. And I just try to keep to myself as much as I can handle.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, Halloween around the corner. Tomorrow is supposed to be a party at the place that's been closed for a while. Now I'm thinking about going.
Docking
I need to
permission
see how much money I
requested.
need to keep set aside for it, though.
Docking request accepted.
That place is a lot more. That place is in the opposite direction, but it's more. I have my other disagreements there. I say this as just kind of a general viewpoint. Politics are a mess, which is why the more I can steer clear of them here, the better. I don't know how to go first. If I'm making all the probes, maybe a few scanners would be worth making. Because you never know if people are going to need a replacement scanner or launcher. Okay, got one Rifter, two Ventures. And all the new scanner probes. Let's go deal with market stuff real quick. So space, have enough to put all the ships on there. First, do have a market for them around here. A market for them up there. Let's go. Set that destination. Edit the hauler and adventures. This to the ship as well. All right. We've got room for more salvage. I'm thinking I go do the pirate daily. But destroy some NPCs, fight first. Some big bonus money. All right. Yeah, I keep thinking back to when a lot of things have started for me.
Warp drive active.
I think the first time I ever did any kind of cross-dressing for Halloween was back in 2008, which was a very interesting year for me, all things considered. And this black and pink tartan, black, white, pink kind of tartan pattern, Gothic Lolita dress with heart-shaped pockets. I wish I could find it again. It got damaged,
Warp drive active.
so it's gone. Uh, I'm hoping if I find someone who has another one of those, like eBay or somewhere, it'd be fun to find that again for another Halloween. Something about this year has taken the wind out of my sails for celebrating anything. That's why I kind of need to push myself to go out and have fun this year.
Warp drive active.
Go out to places, go talk to people, even if it's just hello, how's it going? It's better than staying home for me. The one experience I do have, one consistent experience I've got for getting out of the house is the game store. I like having. Why am I going to heck? I'm not going in. Okay. Well, I was supposed to be in
Warp drive active.
my hauler for this, but I guess I'm gonna start find pirates from here. Next one down.
Warp drive
Let's
active.
start making my way back to my usual space. Nothing. No pirates.
Warp
There's
drive
probably enough
active.
people here clearing them out. A other spots I could go. You know what? Let's get here.
Web drive active.
There's stuff I pick up and just drop off at that station anyway.
Web drive active.
Destination for home, just to have something to fall back to later. Way ahead of me. All right. I guess it's crowded here too.
Web drive active.
Another thing I miss is my stitching projects. Make my own costumes and all that. I still have a ton of handbags I want to make too. That might be something I
Web drive
focus on for
active.
November, December. There's a little less content here, a little more content in my real personal life. I have this big book of
Web drive
sewing
active.
from my grandmother on my dad's side. I should I gotta pull out one of these days and just look it over. There's a lot of techniques I really need to work on.
Web drive active.
So used to stitching by hand, I might end up, I might have to pick up a sewing machine again. Last time I had a sewing machine, it was not to my liking. I didn't like the experience of it using the sewing machine.
Web drive active.
But stitching by hand just takes forever. Getting up there in age, I don't know if be taking care of my hands a little better than just use one of those instead.
Web drive active.
Where are all the pirates today?
Web drive active.
Yeah, ton of stitching projects to get back to. Also, I also keep thinking about my board game designs to get back to as well. And here's the thing about me making my board games. It's always been just just me messing around. I don't think I ever really thought I'd do anything serious with my ideas. A lot of it is just I have this idea in my head for a board game. I need to get it down somehow. Whatever components I've got to work with, or I can find
Web drive
at a
active.
hobby store, or paint myself. Whatever dice I have to order, from the game store. I have to I have to get this idea out of my head. I never really thought, oh hey, maybe I should try to publish these. I'm thinking that might be a goal for next year. Spend some time on polishing the ideas and
Warp drive active.
start testing them out with the people at the game store. There there are people at the game store always willing to try out new games, and especially game ideas from local people. I mean, we got somebody's got a game up on Kickstarter. We've got some local companies, or somewhat local, as far as the not city, at least the state, that are just getting their games out there.
Warp drive active.
And if nothing else, getting these games out there means opening up a little bit more space and bound space, because that big bucket of game ideas, it, it's just taking up space I really need for other things. I've had ideas that
Warp drive
I have
active.
disassembled and thrown away the components for because I just never figured out how to really make them fun or at least work. That I still have in the back of my head is like, but I could come back to this theoretically if I figure out a way to make it work. With some games that feel are just out of reach. I had one game idea in particular that was like, I know I want a kind of realistic physics concept for this, but it's really hard to figure out.
Warp drive active.
There's a game I was calling Blockheads. The idea was you could summon these giant cubes and launch them across the field into your opponents, like a deranged game of dodgeball. And the blocks could hit other blocks and move them, or possibly destroy them. Blocks could hit opponents and send them flying.
Warp drive active.
It's just a weird idea because I love Chip's challenge. Is like, what if this but deathmatch? Block puzzle deathmatch, the board game.
Warp drive active.
And then I was trying to figure out things like momentum and overcoming inertia and everything else. It's like, okay, I need to figure out a simple solution to this.
Warp drive active.
Come on, game, let me fight some pirates today. Uh, but yeah, I don't have the little wooden blocks from that one anymore. But it's an idea that I just can't forget about, just because of how silly it is. One of the
Warp
worries that
drive
always hits
active.
is this game already has this game already been done? this game. Is there a better version of this game? Like the one that I have, Hazard Rising Threat. It's considerably different enough from Nexus Ops to be its own thing. But the fact is, I think Nexus Ops would be better.
Warp drive
I think
active.
it's worth giving some consideration to an idea that's trying to do something different. No, I know Hazard's got its own setup of things. Oh, yeah, pirates. All right, you're in perfect range for orbit. We're walking down. Get ready. Go missile. All right. And just always keeping these ideas in mind. Because I might end up returning to them someday. There we go. It never hurts to have creative ideas in the back pocket for messing with later. What's that? It's always fun to wonder about how would I do space game. Because I like I like games like these. I've said before I wanted to maybe find a different enough experience from Eve as an MMO, but I have yet to see anything that's catching my attention. I was looking on Steam, and there's Elite Dangerous, and there's X4. I'm sure there's others too, but I gotta pay money for those. And I'm looking for this kind of free to play at a hamstrung approach, or pay to upgrade the experience, just to start out with. Of course, if there's a good paid experience that I see some good recommendations for, I'll definitely save up for that. But the whole realization of, if anything happens to these digital distribution things, then I'm left without my games, which sucks. Then again, if anything ever takes down Steam, that would that would be the tip of the iceberg of a far greater thing to worry about than the whole games thing.
Warp
But
drive
still,
active.
I pay money for stuff. I want to have it in my hands and just be able to mess around with it, which is why I stick to board games. see here. Okay. Guess you're not fighting them. It's like whenever I come into an area, it's like, okay, there's both other people and other pirates. See, it's like, are they already fighting or not? And if they are, do I have the right to go help them? That's a question.
Warp drive active.
I don't want to feel like I'm stealing someone else's kill around here. Let's see.
Warp drive active.
What else is going on lately? Yeah, there's stuff I wanted to talk about yesterday. I think I already brought up the point of I want to rethink the way we're doing the Tuesday nights at the game store. Personally, I want to
Warp
just take
drive
down the whole
active.
league concept. Just cover the table rentals out of my own freaking pocket and just let us play and not have the pressure of playing for something. And then I figure if I'm paying for the table rentals, the money for the table rentals goes into my store credit. I can build up the store credit and then use that to buy a game and gift it to somebody that wins it or that wins the session. Holy crap, 240. I'd rather do that instead. Reload time feels longer than usual. Great. The way the board game league goes these days, it's like everyone's got to pay. They got to pay quite a bit, and they'll get a little bit of it from store credit, but then there's that chance that they just end up with nothing after it's all said and done, which really sucks. I will. I would rather take on the covering for the
Warp
tables
drive
on
active.
Tuesday than put it on anyone else's shoulders. I'm just. I want to see more people come in on Tuesdays too, and if we've got the freaking league, that's you know an immediate turnoff for people. Or Tuesdays are, outside the board game league and maybe some minis game players, Tuesdays are just dead. I think more people have decided they're gonna stay at home or hang out with their friends for playing tabletop games instead of coming to the game store, and I don't blame them because it's a hard environment to feel comfortable in sometimes. Meeting new people at the game store can feel a little bit daunting. It's just easier to hang out with the people you already know. But then again, you got to meet people for the first time before you can hang out with them for a long time. It's what a lot of my time in the game store has been. It's been getting to know people a little bit better, actually having to talk to people in general, having to explain a game in my own words and demonstrate how it's played. Has been an interesting challenge for me personally. Nice. I remember back in elementary school, I had to go to speech therapy because I had
Warp drive
some kind of
active.
issue of just talking to people in general, just talking in general. I don't know what it is. And I'm not sure exactly how well it helps. But over the last, you know, few
Warp drive
decades,
active.
I've been trying my best to talk to people. And it's hard sometimes because I have said stupid shit and made me look like a total dumbass at times. And it just kind of makes me kind of discouraged to even try. But,
Warp drive active.
so I'm just trying my best whenever I can, just even at work, just saying to my coworkers, "Hey, good morning. How's it going so far?" Just something. It feels a little reassuring to know that I'm not in the same, not in my own little boat. There's other people there too, and we're all just trying to work through it together.
Warp drive
But it's
active.
just sometimes saying the wrong thing and having a million hammers coming down on you. Like, why did you say that out loud? It's like, I don't know. I've been a dumb child in my past of repeating things from
Warp drive
TV
active.
and having family go like, why would you say that? It's a terrible thing to say. Don't say that. There have been moments in even my adult years of saying things I didn't think I'd ever say before
Warp drive active.
that end up making no sense whatsoever. So it's just going to be this lifelong process of trying to work on speaking. I kind of miss my old speech and debate class. That's something I wish I'd gotten into a club for and pushed myself further on that path. Just to get my speaking skills just a little better. I was happy with just the class. I never really felt like I wanted to be part of a club, though. It's like, I wanted to take my time after school and go have fun at the game store or play on my computer. Or for the last 2 years of high school, I got the advanced vocational education program, or at least the first semester. So I wouldn't be able to go to a club for those semesters anyway. Because I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna make video games. So the first class I took was logic and program design, which should just be a straight up recommendation for anyone, period. Just understanding the way logic and other loops work and everything else. The other one was the Intro to Game Design, which used Macromedia Flash. Ended up making choose your own adventure type stuff. It's really primitive. Then I heard that they revamped that class to make um, like actual games instead of just basic choose your own adventure stuff. But the funny thing is, one of my ideas that I still hold on to is like gonna end up a choose your own adventure type thing anyway. But then I still need to learn um, setting up parameters and everything else, counters. That might be another project for next year. Is a visual novel type thing. Assume this is for the pirates. Yep. I keep wanting to come back to my uncity concept as a visual novel, choose your own adventure, something along those lines. You know, there are things you have to do during a day, and depending on what order you end up doing them, you might encounter certain people that might lead to making certain impressions or getting certain wisdom. And then that opens up other possibilities down the road. I suck at telling stories. I I've had a few personal writing projects that I've taken up, and it's all been just one chapter of consisting of a single page of writing out this bit of world building. Wasn't so much telling a story as much as it was saying what one little part of it is all about and what relates to other parts. So that's what I got to work on going forward. My speech, my ability to write stories, and just staying on task with the projects that I still have left to do. That's probably going to be how my 2025 is looking at.
Warp drive
So what am I
active.
doing for the rest of this year? One of the video ideas rolling around in my head lately has been the board game primer, tabletop game primer. Like, oh shit, shit, jump, get me out of here,
Warp
get me out of
drive
here, go go
active.
go go go, run 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 run, run away, run away. Which, yeah, the board game primer, which feels like I'm repeating myself because I've already done some, other videos along those lines about various game design elements. So I feel like I would just be saying the same thing I've already said before, but nobody wanted to listen to.
Warp drive active.
So I'm not entirely sure if I should do that, but it's an idea. I also want to do the shorts for Battletech miniatures because my phone camera should look a little bit better than the
Warp drive active.
my computer's webcam thing. Sorry, I saw Blood Raiders and I just felt an urge to run. Like, oh crap. That's right. Fight me, not them. Reload. That's right. Nothing. Let's try using some of these other ones sometime. Nothing. All right. To the next one.
Warp drive active.
See, I got those at least. I've got the post-auction colorless tabletop games videos to do for whatever games I end up picking up. Um, from the auction directly, or with the store credit from selling things
Warp
at
drive
the auction
active.
to pick up something that I wanted to feature. I swear, if there's one specific game at the game store that if it's still on the shelf, I'm picking it up to feature. It's closest. A bit. Nice. Because there's always a game to feature. To say, hey, there's this game, it exists. If, if you can get the opportunity to do it, go check it out yourself. Because this. Even the games that I have a hard time recommending, there might be an audience for the game for someone out there. Like Thunder's Edge. That's a very early Fantasy Flight Games experience of developing your forces, deploying them somewhere, possibly even redeploying them if necessary. And also dealing with political craziness. I'm sure there's someone who would be happy to run that game or maybe even make upgrades for that game. I know there's also an expansion for it somewhere. Ooh, wrong one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just figuring out what I'm looking to get rid of. Make some space, and then that space for some new games. I want to have enough. I want to have enough locker space to throw in my RPG books, keep them there. If I'm not in a, if I'm not in the process of figuring out what kind of scenario to do. There's another goal for 2025. Is actually run one of the RPGs in my collection. It's that'll tie into the I need to figure out how to write a story project line. I keep have this one scenario that's always in my back pocket for like just about anything of just this kind of medical like facility popping up out of nowhere, people from it coming into town and asking some really strange questions, and certain people in town are hiring people to go infiltrate or check or break into it or something, find out what's going on. But I haven't really fleshed out that idea enough. But it's just a basic structure to work with. I feel like I'm at work decently with a cyberpunk setting. Halfway. That'll be something else to work on.
Warp drive active.
Another thing I have to worry about in 2025 is the post-holiday shopping season lull of, okay, people are done buying crap they don't need.
Warp drive active.
It's gonna be slow for a while. But then we end up selling stuff like storage containers, and then the lead up to Valentine's Day. It's usual retail cycle. Valentine's Day to Easter to summer to back to school to Halloween to Christmas. Yeah, there's a bunch of little holidays in between, but those are just the big 6 milestones
Warp drive active.
of retail shopping. This forms the cycle that just never freaking ends. And people just are buying less and less of the decorative stuff
Warp drive
for
active.
those seasons, and then just end up having to clearance it out. Put it on sale, then put it on clearance, just get rid of it. It's like, was it worth what the store paid for to stock it in the first place?
Warp drive active.
We've got other stuff that, even when it's not on sale, still manages to sell decently anyway. Yeah, one of the keys to our store still staying open, even if anything else being the same. One of the keys to staying open is cheap floor space. If you don't have to pay much for the rent,
Warp drive active.
and you're able to keep sales at a good value and the shrinkage low and all that, then having a cheap space is going to be the key to staying alive. All right. I have no clue how. We hope this is about to be. Are you serious? Oh, I forgot to target the bastard. Damn it all. Alright. Go missile. Go guns. Oh, this is nothing. Shit. What was I worried for? Safe distance. Kind of sucks. There's still a lot of stores around here that are just. They've been empty for ages now. And nobody wants to pick them up. Probably because the space is too much. In this town, I don't know. I have to wonder. what people see with this city that is either worth doing business or not. So it's a curiosity. Seems to be a lot of stuff standing in the way between people and wanting to get a business going. And that sucks. And again, I don't know if I could ever run a business on my own. I am always curious though, which is why I like talking to the or game store owner guy about what it takes to run the game store, hearing things from his point of view, uh, trying to figure out frustrations and other difficulties. Internet, a little bit of an interruption there. Yeah, I think if you're ever curious about business, somebody to talk to is, someone who's actually running business. Not really in the best financial state to even try to start one. But I would be curious to see how things are from inside. It's part of why I kind of like sticking around with retail. Get that inside view of how things tend to be. Dealing with orders and customer service. Friggin' theft. This always pisses me off and find a open package at work. It's like, why? Why do people do this? It's the kind of thing that'll just lead to more stores going online only, which requires having a credit card or debit card, which a lot of people don't want to mess with. Just want to just keep all the cash on them all times. But that's the thing with having businesses, you need trust. One of the problems in the world. This will A lot of problems in the world seem to come down to just a lack of trust between people. Lack of trust, lack of communication, lack of honesty. Just makes things worse overall. That's why I try to be fair and honest about stuff. Oh, that's me. I wonder why I'm playing Eve. There's plenty of room and space and reason for being a reliable, trustworthy business owner in this game. Right.
Warp drive active.
Keep thinking about either finding another game to play or going back to a game I haven't played in a while. And with regard to MMOs, my options were come back to Eve or resubscribe to World of Warcraft for the classic. Wrath Classic was a fun time for
Warp
a
drive
month,
active.
and then no more. What other MMOs have I not come back to? I hadn't. I very briefly checked out Ultima Online, and if my account is still accessible, I'd like to revisit that one. Just kind of amazed it's still going. I remember stopping by someone's yard sale and they actually had Ultima Online figures, which if I was heading back home anyway, I might have picked one up. I known how much money I was gonna need. Other games. I haven't played Maple Story in ages. But that one was such a grind. Uh, yeah, I don't want to go back to Maple Story. Mabinogi was about the same, but in 3D,
Warp drive
more
active.
fantasy-ish. There would always be freaking bot players with random gibberish names running around in their underwear, going from easy enemy to fight to easy enemy to fight. It was just such a ridiculous thing to see. Those what we work with. I also remember one from both when I was part of Nexon and then part of Red Banner called Audition. It was just this weird game of trying to hit arrows and time. It was less to a rhythm and more to trying to get it, trying to hit the arrows fast enough and then hit the space bar while I was at that point. And it'd be stuff like chance and 8 arrows that were such a headache. I think I only tried that because someone was like, "Hey, want to play this with me?" It's like, okay. And even then, I play with the music off, and I'd be listening to my own music, which ended up helping me focus a little bit better. playing with music I was more familiar with on my end. I don't think I'd go back to that one though. Yeah, I haven't really messed with a whole lot of MMOs. I've always been about enjoying stuff single player where it's available. There is no single player Eve, so that's fine because I like opening up the wallet and seeing who else is out there, you know, various names and everything. It's like, okay, cool, they picked this up. I wonder what kind of adventures they're gonna have with it. What will they discover? Who will they fight? How will such an interesting ship meet its terrible end? Or will it survive long enough to be sold? It's fun to imagine stuff like that. All right, look at the other direction. I hope there's no blood raiders this
Warp
way.
drive active.
It's just interesting how many stories really come from players making them with their own actions. And a lot of things just kind of breaking through into getting reported on in the real world. Like all the space battles, all the epic space battles for me that have been reported on. The stolen fireball incident in the Ultima Online, the Leroy Jenkins thing from World of Warcraft. Just all the stuff that just kind of
Warp drive active.
breaks through and becomes memes or otherwise gets major attention outside of the environment that's created. Is it interesting to read about? Try to imagine. Also wanting to hear about it from the people who are there,
Warp drive
what they
active.
accomplish. There's just there are just so many games to make your own story. Jump, jump, jump. Get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here.
Warp
Go,
drive
run away.
active.
Run away! No. Holy crap. Holy absolute shit. And this is why I worry about Blood Raiders. Fucking hell. Curious to see how fast the shield will recover. I'll wait. I'll wait for the cloak timer to pass, and then we'll go sweep the fields one last time. Yeah, it's always just interesting to see what's possible in all these different games. Between great big fights or just the little things that happen.
Warp drive active.
Same thing is possible with the tabletop RPGs as well. It's interesting to see what other stories people have from their time with it.
Warp drive active.
The TV tropes had in the past featured a little bit more um, stories from people's RPG sessions. The one that still sticks out in my head is the legend of
Warp drive active.
Old Man Henderson from Call of Cthulhu. Someone's eccentric, overpowered character that was meant to punish an unusually lethal GM. I hope to accomplish anything next year. It's either going to be running or playing in a TTRPG. I really want to find more sci-fi type experiences, like Cyberpunk or Traveler. There's another MMO I'd come back to is Anarchy Online. If, they could get their head together and not make the game have so many hoops to jump through just to come back to it on a free account. I think the last time I tried, um, I was able to do so, but then the game crashed anyway after a few minutes. Oh, it wasn't even a few minutes, it's like one. It's like, nope, you're not playing today. But when I think about how much time I really have to work with, I find instead of wanting to play MMOs, I'm just happier playing the single player games. Like I keep replaying MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries because I don't have to deal with people online. I can just run around and big stompy robot and blow crap up. But I do think maybe playing
Warp drive
that kind of
active.
experience with other people might be what I'm looking for. which is why I'm considering MechWarrior Online as a potential future option. I've heard there's uh, between a lack of new players and people still there who are still powerful, there's going to be a major skill gap.
Warp drive active.
But I would be curious to try that, challenge. Which is why after this is over, I'm going to look into downloading that game and just giving it a shot.
Warp drive
I mean,
active.
it's free. It's it's no real expense if I decide it's not for me. But failing that, if I decide it's not, then I'll retain Eva's as my one of my main lines of content for the channel.
Warp drive active.
I might even resubscribe. We'll see. See. I gotta get through all the projects first. What else aside from
Warp
me can I
drive
come back to?
active.
Other than MMOs. I started Mist way back when. Oh, that was this year, even. It's like, this year was last year. Played Mist for a little bit. It's pretty chill. It's also real mind bender at times.
Warp drive active.
I still have Morrowind. Morrowind I would have to play more consistently. Like, play on a like twice a week just to stay on top of remembering how to play the game and where I'm going and what I need to do quest wise. One of these days I want to figure out what I ought to do for Princess Maker 2. And also return to Reciteer, uh, Indivisible. Wait, why am I target? No, no, no. Stop, stop. Why am I targeting the freaking wreck? God damn it. I hate when I mess up the target locking. Waste ammo, and it's just going to destroy the thing anyway. It's wasteful. There's just a lot of games I could return to, but it's just getting up this motivation to return to them. Like, just make content in general. There are times where I feel like I just don't want to do anything. The worst feeling being back in September and feeling like I wanted to quit completely. I'm always having these moments of maybe I should be done with it. I should just give it up. But then something pulls me back. Just a feeling of, but why give up now? There's still other things to try. Just just keep going. I don't know. Maybe I'll find something that I really want to fight for harder than anything else and make it the center point of the channel. In a way, games in general is what I like to fight for. I want games to be good. I'm tired of seeing crappy games, mishandled experiences, things that just aren't fun. I want fun, quality games.
Warp drive
I
active.
want to be able to share them and encourage other people to at least try them even once. There are a lot of hidden gems out there. I think bringing them to light means more opportunities for people to have a good time with something. Again, everyone's got their own tastes in games. It's their entertainment. Some people don't care for video games at all. They want to go see movies or read books or whatever. That's fine. Finding the one thing to encourage people to pick it up and experience it, even when it's not their usual thing, that takes quite a bit. But sometimes, if it's simple enough to grasp and pick up and play, pick up and read, or pick up and watch, then it might reach a greater audience. I think back on having my Game Boy and Tetris, and I think my mom wanted to try that game herself, which I was surprised to hear from my mom. It's like,
Warp drive
cool,
active.
have fun. That's why certain movies that reach out to a lot of people can do pretty well. Some stuff is aimed a little too narrow. Just only reaches out to a few people. But those few people might actually really get the most out of it. It's it's always this weird balance. Wanting to make something extraordinary, also wanting it to reach people. That's it. Where to go? I'm gonna go. Swing back through.
Warp drive active.
The thing about this game It's like, who's it attracting? How, what appeals to each player about this game? Is it just going out and mining space rocks and turning into stuff? Is it getting into a cool fighting ship and taking on pirates? Joining with other players to do something incredible? Just exploring the universe in general? Again, I go back to the point of this game being free to play to get people curious is is a helpful point in its favor. Because these days, having to spend money on something only to find out it wasn't the experience you really wanted, you're hoping for, can be a real kick in the butt. I've spent money on games that I could not play at all, and it's always been a frustrating time. I had Final Fantasy 11, and that game would not run for me at all, and it was just a waste of my money. I picked up the Cataclysm expansion for World of Warcraft on disc, and my computer was not good enough to run the game, so that was a waste of that money. Yeah, I don't think the disk code is still useful or not because I never got to cash it in or use it.
Warp drive.
But I still have that disc at least. I've bought some games from like Goodwill or other thrift stores, and they wouldn't install on the computer that I have. It's frustrating. You know, if I put my money into something, I want to hope that it's gonna, work.
Docking
And
permission requested. Docking request accepted.
because I don't have a whole lot to work with, money-wise. So I'm keeping that. So I have to keep that in mind with regard to games. Do I want to put more money into a game if I'm not having fun anymore? My concern is if I come back to really playing this game, really put money into it, am I gonna have fun again like I used to? I don't know. Okay, this crap over. Okay. Yes. Okay, make this one active. Sure. One of these days I will have to take this ship out again. Okay, let's see here. I think I'll take. These are going to go to the hauler instead. Take all this crap over to the main market. It's just what is fun? Is it managing inventory and doing business, running factories, turning some stuff into other stuff? What do you personally enjoy that you would want as a gaming experience that you would be willing to pay for? Well, scraps got more expensive too. Anything else? Industry. Could wait another half hour for that, but I want to get done today and go take care of all the projects I have lined up.
Warp drive active.
Go take a shower, go sort through the games, work on the costume shorts, work on the board game video, work on the Mech Warrior shorts, Valtech shorts. Make a list of what games have I already featured on my channel and make it a point not to pick up those ones if I've already sold them off unless it's a game I personally want. Figure out what I'm going to do for the Halloween thing tomorrow. And just get back to some projects I haven't gone back to in a while. What else?
Warp drive active.
What else was I going to talk about yesterday? That's right. The other day I was watching a video about this Star Wars hotel experience, and it's not around. They they've closed it down, but it's interesting hearing about the story about it and all the uh, high ideas, but tech problems and not really things not really organized as well as it could have been. But just the whole idea of
Warp drive.
a live action role play for a space universe series, whether it's Star Wars or Star Trek or something, it, that concept appeals to me. I'm curious I want to find an experience for that I can play in. It's just uh, crap. I don't know, just when did it disconnect?
Warp
Okay.
drive
All
active.
right. OBS seemed to have disconnected on me, so I'm sorry if anything got cut out. But yeah, just the idea of a live action role play Star Wars experience. If there's a way to do that without needing to resort to phone apps or anything, I'd be interested. You know, either Star Wars or Star Trek or Firefly or
Docking permission
something.
requested. Docking request accepted.
Like, it'd be wild. Babylon 5 live action roleplay. That would, that'd be an interesting one to try to figure out. That's all. Show the hanger. Show those in the ship hanger. I know when I started thinking about it, it's like, okay, want to try to work on the idea of that while sorting through some card sleeves to maybe make my own space universe factions to have their own little stories. And by participating in one faction's story, it might disrupt someone else's. Might make it harder, might make it easier. Just a way for whatever story you choose to, each player chooses to be part of, have an effect on other stories. Just make it really come together, be a more comprehensive experience. And then players can go to certain stations and do like a rock, paper, scissors, or dice roll, or card playing card duel to push a situation to their favor for their story. That's it's just ideas that are just rolling around in my head. It's hard to get out of there. That I think it'd be fun to just try. Okay. Sell this item. I will sell one immediately, and then oh, what the hell? Yeah, big money. Oh, are they like now they're just figuring that out? Is that okay? It's a two. It's 197. Okay, I might be seeing things. So one at timeline. Let's go 285. Okay. Yeah, just other live action gaming experiences in general. Just have my curiosity right now. So one immediately. Sell one. Sell the other later. So it'll be 275. There's there was kind of a joke idea rolling around in my head for live action BattleTech. Everyone's got like cardboard and duct tape and Nerf guns and a big area to run around in, and it's just silly. But I think but I would have fun with it. That's so, silly is how I roll sometimes. All right, everything else is immediate. I always got these most random ass ideas rolling through my head sometimes. So that's where one of my game ideas have come from. Just silly stuff. Oh hey, the adventure sold already. Nice. Nice to know those are in demand. It encouraged me to make more of them immediately. I think while I'm here, I should probably pick up some more isogen because there's no way in hell I'm going out into space. Oh yeah, that's right. The last couple pirates. Yeah. I think if I had more time to myself for this game, I'd probably go do some risky mining in my other ship. Details. Okay. But I think I just want to seriously. So, I just want to finish what I need to do here and head out. Anything else on my mind lately? Uh, It's just interesting watching the whole VTuber world right now. Seeing some people make a comeback. Other people doing their own thing, whatever. This I'm just happy to cheer people on, but I don't really have a whole lot of time to watch like watch as much as I used to. It spends I spend a lot of time with, you know, VTuber on one screen, then eventually Minecraft on another. Used to get caught up in the hype of debuts and concerts and everything else. And it just kind of slipped out of my hands. Just- I got busy with I got busy with all this stuff over here. I keep try to keep an eye open for things that I'm curious about in terms of watching certain content, like the old man Yap streams from Jonathan Palm and Paul Montes together. I was really into the podcast from Manta Matara as well. See, I like when they've got a video, whether it's the archive of a stream or just a pre-made video just to watch and listen to it and then take care of other stuff. Try to keep an eye open for the visual things that pop up is like just for the emphasis of what they're talking about. But mostly I'm just listening. I've also got my main podcast that I listen to as well. Hardcore Gaming. Hardcore Gaming 101. We're on Patreon. They've got some stuff on YouTube as well. Holy crap. Why is the price so freaking high for these? People are serious. Serious about Smash trigger units. I'd just be listening to those either playing Minecraft or lying in bed because I was home from work and tired. It's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna listen to this and have a nice time. I'm always looking for something just to, holy shit. This really, holy shit. I really mean it. Holy shit. I was not expecting something to find something that good price wise today. Yeah, just finding things to listen to and take my mind off of whatever things are bothering me for the day and go get other stuff done in the process. It's just nice to have those options. Still trying to remember how to come across hardcore gaming in the first place. Just looking up something, and then I saw their site, and I saw, oh hey, the top 47, 48K games for a Chips Challenge. It's like, oh hey, I love that game. Of course, it did not rank very high, but it's interesting hearing how they talk about it and everything else. That's something else I wish I could do is find someone to talk about things with for like a podcast or something, which again requires me to work on my speech skills a little bit better. Why is weapon disruption locked behind Omega? Oh well. Alright. Alright, two last things to do. One is go take this to Embod, and the other is to go get the mining daily. Well, I should probably go do the freaking loyalty point thing as well.
Warp drive active.
Alright. I think one of the keys to keeping my productivity up is going to be the fact that I uninstalled Twitter from my freaking phone. And overall, just want to use Twitter less. I kind of have to keep my Twitter open just to deal with anything that might happen with YouTube, because apparently that seems to be the only way to reach them. But also as a to keep an eye
Warp
on
drive
finding
active.
people also using uh, my channel name or content, just to just to deal with that and make sure that's not happening. There's between AI and other stuff, there's always this worry of imposters and other scammers and crap. It's like I really don't need to be dealing with people like that. So I need to have this one channel open just in case.
Warp drive active.
But overall, I want to just be using Twitter less. I access it on my computer, and I don't access it from my phone. And I can keep up with what's going on with the VTubers when I'm not watching them, which is fine. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, hey, I featured this, and I'll make a note to watch it later if I've got the time. And I want to make more time to watch this stuff. So a lot of it's pretty freaking creative. Right. Slight
Warp drive
detour,
active.
go pick up a faster ship for a smaller cargo. But also because I gotta go do mining anyway. Yeah, that should fit on the adventure. That way on the way back, and stop, do the mining, and call it good.
Docking
Yeah,
permission
the
requested.
VTuber world
Docking
is just
request
so
accepted.
intriguing to watch. seeing what creative things people have to offer. Go back to the probe. Oh wait, not the probe. Oops. Wrong one. It's adventure. Open up the cargo hold for the wreath. Move that over. Take that to its destination and then go do some mining. Let's go. That's kind of nuts what kind of goes on, you know, especially with regards to the way Twitch and YouTube handle stuff.
Warp drive
Um,
active.
I just try to stay back and do my own thing, but it's hard not to ignore the concerns of the way the way platforms handle stuff in terms of the way models look and what kind of content they're featuring. I just hope nothing major happens to the people I really like watching, and nothing
Warp
major,
drive active.
nothing bad happens to my own channel, of course. A lot of worries about the way this site handles music and everything. It's part of why I was really reluctant to have uh, music at all from any of the games I was playing.
Warp drive active.
Even though being able to have certain sound effects was critical to knowing where danger was and everything else. There's another game might have to look into again. Quake 2, because they remastered that one. The last time I featured it, I don't think I featured the sound or music, which is kind of a nuts thing to do for
Warp drive
a
active.
first-person shooter because you got to have the sounds people to recognize. For me to recognize where the threat is around the corner. Also, I'm just curious to see what all they did with that. That might be a late this year, early next year project. Quake 2 Remastered. Let's see how much it is on the Steam.
Warp
Wishlist
drive
it.
active.
And when I feel like I'm in a good enough financial position, I will pick it up. My other wish my other wish list items so far are Doom 3, which is currently on sale. Probably gonna I will find a day to return to that. The furthest I got playing Doom 3 previously was coming back to the starting area after investigating all the kickoff of the invasion.
Warp drive active.
I want to properly finish that game. And I'm also waiting for R-Type uh, Tactics, uh, the collection of Tactics 1 and 2, R-Type Cosmos. I guess that's not coming out till next year, which is annoying as hell. Like, I've been waiting for this game for
Interesting
over a year
docking
now.
request accepted.
and it keeps getting pushed back. Like, why? What is going wrong with the production of this game that for some reason it had to be pushed back this far? Someone tell me. I keep an eye on the discussions there. Okay, so immediately, and so immediately. Yeah, last time I had the R-Type command was the PSP, and that was a fun time, but I didn't get very far into it. And seeing it that it was going to be available, say on PC through Steam, it's like, okay, cool. I don't need to think about getting a PSP again. But then it's just taking forever. So I do sincerely hope it comes out by next year, as early as it can, and a good enough in a quality condition to actually play it and enjoy it.
Hard drive active.
I don't want to shove it out the door early, only to continue having issues. There are enough games like that. Let's try to move it back in the direction of quality. I guess that seems to be a thing recently. It's some games just aren't getting the care they need to be as good as they can be. So they're just getting shoved out the door too
Hard drive
soon.
active.
Other other games are very rarely getting shoved out the door too late, or not at all. It's like you missed your chance to jump on this trend. There's already a better game that followed the leader sooner. There's also the original game that does it pretty well anyway. So it's like, okay. You might still catch a niche group, but
Hard drive active.
it's gonna be really small. But if the game is good, if the game is good enough, it might win its own little victory in the long run. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what's gonna happen once the game gets into people's hands. You know, how much will they play it? What will they tell other people about it? What issues are going to pop up and how will they be dealt with?
Hard drive active.
Uh, Games are its own strange world too. I remember the old days of not having to worry about graphics cards. Just as long as your computer has the right processor and enough RAM, it plays fine. There's a lot more visually intensive games of, you know, high quality graphics, lots of polygons, all that stuff.
Hard
But then
drive
there's all the
active.
retro looking stuff that's kind of fun. You know, it doesn't need this over the top fancy look. It's just wholly playable on its own with with old style graphics. That's cool. I'm not overly picky about wanting the greatest graphics or retro. I'm just happy with a game I can visually understand. You know, these are very clearly asteroids. I know I click on one and it says asteroid, but it also looks very much like an asteroid. If it looked if it looked like anything else, it'd be like, what the hell are they doing with the game? That visual language of this is supposed to be a very clear representation of something, and you should be able to know it just by looking at it, what kind of thing it's supposed to be. The actual details, you can just have a little information thing for deep details about what it represents. But on the outside, looking at it, it's pretty clear what it's supposed to be. And then that's maintained consistently as well. Clarity and consistency go a long way in communication and game design. Which is why when things aren't clear, they're not consistent, it's a real pain in the butt. Okay. At the very least, I need this knocked out. But I'm probably going to stick around in mine for a little bit longer just to fill up the mining hold. There's confusion has never really helped anything. It's, when things are confusing, it's okay, one more cycle. It just makes things frustrating. Especially especially when playing games. Like I go to read a rule book. There should be a sensible order to it. What's being held up to rules should be held up consistently. But when you've got contradictions or printing errors or something else going on, it's just really annoying. I remember the first edition Betrayal at House on the Hill and its massive stack of errata and frequently asked questions. The one game that I still have that has something along those lines is the City of Remnants, which it only has one little thing for errata, and it's for one card. But it does have quite a bit of frequently asked questions, which makes sense. You know, but it's having more consistency and more clarity from the start would just make for a better experience. In addition to clarity and consistency, is also conciseness. Don't use more words than you really need just to look cool. Use just enough words to get the point across clearly. The the more you try to throw in like little exceptions and everything else, and just it just hurts the experience of playing. I know we were having I was having one little confusion with the game we were playing on Saturday, Asian Tigers. It's like, why does it need the symbol here if it's not going to make use of it? And it turns out it's one of the special tiles that's unlocked that actually uh, makes it possible to use it. So it's the one case, but the fact remains, it still seems a bit silly to see it and have this jump of logic and not make use of it. Probably because it's happening on someone. It's happening in between turns, which would cause confusion. But I don't know. Here's another way to do it. Oh yeah, when I was talking about that yesterday, I think I brought up the wrong countries. I think it's just Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore, and South Korea. I think I said Malaysia, and I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. I know it's Southeast Asia, but I don't think it was one of the four countries at that time. Yeah, it was that game was interesting, and I keep thinking it might be another one I pick up. Post auction winnings. At the same time, it looks it. So I figure out how to explain it clearly, and can make for a good episode. Uh, Otherwise, it's going to just I'm going to be stumbling through words like I usually do. I know the encounters BattleTech episode. I could have done that better. I should have. I should have started that over and after getting the rules through my head thoroughly. There's a lot of stuff I'm just like, okay, it's done. I don't see any technical issues. Push it through. And I really should put a little bit more time into making sure things are good to go. I might. I'm gonna test out the that camera that I have a little bit more. I just hate the fact that the freaking fisheye lens, but I might need to use that more often for my camera work. Uh, for videos that I have on my camera. But it's just that whole fisheye. I don't know, why? There's if there's a way to adjust that camera to not be fisheye, I might be able to make more use of it. And the same thing goes for the microphone that I picked up. Like it it has me very quiet. I think I used it was on one of the previous tabletop games episodes even. It was and it just had me quiet. Quieter than usual even. It was frustrating. It has this like foam cover over it. It has that little pop filter thing, and I'm thinking if there's anything I can do to make adjustments with it. Should try. It's a USB microphone toner, something like that. I might just I might test out both of those a little bit further and see what I'd really want them for. The webcam I still have, it's got a horizontal scratch on the little plastic part in front of it, and it's very small. I'm not entirely sure how badly it's affecting the view, but it's also very low quality camera too. It was my starting point. All right, I have enough. I don't know. I
Hard
keep thinking,
drive
how much more do I want to put into this content creation path? It's fun, but it's a, how much money can I afford to put into it? I'm not planning to do any you can see my face type stuff anytime soon. Not deliberately, anyway. Although, it's like, so there's a moment during the whole DVD review thing where I go silent for bit of an uncomfortable amount of time. That's because I realize, oh crap, some of these
hard drive active.
are just not just dark, but also a bit reflective. Hopefully, no one's paying too close attention to that. I think I had the same issue with the CD collection. So clearly, I didn't learn my lesson from that. Yeah, it's just figuring things out. Like keep going forward. And honestly, I want to keep going forward with this. This is interesting.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
All right. So I'm going to take care of this one last thing, and I'm going to call it good for today. It is always nice to come back to you every once in a while. Just don't really intend to make a big habit out of it right now. But I'm starting to remember what I was enjoying about the game, little by little. And I think having it as both an option for playing off stream and playing on stream is nice. You know, people that you know, seeing people come in for to check me out, flying my spaceship around, taking care of other business. Seeing people come to streams has always been nice. So, well, thank you all for coming today. Again, future content, costume shorts, Battletech shorts, the board game primer or tabletop game primer. So other things. You know what? I did enjoy it. Returning to other games. Yeah, I'm still gonna be here. Whatever doubts keep running through my head, I'm just gonna have to crush them. Crush those doubts and keep on going. Keep on trying more stuff and having fun. All right. So thank you very much for watching. This has been Pillar Nexus, the Ancient Gladiator. I'll see you next time.